Yeah, I mean, okay, those ring pieces are also incredibly challenging, obviously, and wonderful pieces. I mean, really the high point of the opera repertoire, especially in German language. But Richard Strauss, of course, he did modernism. He actually met Richard Wagner. His father played the premiere of Parsifal in Bayreuth just before Richard Wagner died, and Richard Strauss was actually in the audience and heard it. He didn't like the man Richard Wagner, but he loved the music. His father didn't want him to continue the tradition of Richard Wagner, but he, Richard Strauss, fell in love completely with this incredible modern way of presenting opera. So when you think this is written in 1908, so you think how modern. I mean, it is tonal. You hear the tonality, but he's taking everything that existed and making it new in a completely new rhythmical and tonality. Not like Brahms. Brahms was very, maybe also beautiful, but very conservative. Richard Strauss was taking it to a next level. And this opera, ELEKTRA, later in his life, Richard Strauss made it more lyrical. But this opera is just totally, this is in very much new music. This would be kind of incredible rock and roll back in the day. This is for just mind-boggling for the listener. So you have incredibly fast notes. You have one of the most difficult scores of all 55 operas that I've ever conducted, including The Ring, etc. The orchestra has incredibly fast notes. The singers are singing. Sometimes very tonal, sometimes there's E-flat major and normal, but sometimes completely it's not even in a tonal balance. So you have, sometimes they're singing, it's kind of like they're in a completely other world. And when you put all that together and you have this incredible story, it's just kind of taking Wagner, which is already amazing, and just bringing it to the next level. And so that's the challenge. The challenge is to bring all of that, all of that story to life. The music is so well written by Richard Strauss. So it's very challenging just to have everyone do what's written on the page. And then this incredible story emerges. So that's, I think, the challenge, to give that energy for the 1 hour and 45 minutes, to have it be this incredibly exciting show for the audience. No, it's a real pleasure. I mean, you say it's like the Bayreuth of the Balkans. I mean, yes, I can totally underline that, because you have to have, first of all, the opera house to support it. You have to have the players. You have to have the team. You have to have the singers. From the first day I've been here, the singers are incredibly well prepared. I mean, it's just, I didn't have to teach them any notes. It's just a matter of maybe a few small details with maybe the phrasing, maybe the tempo, maybe a little bit the German pronunciation, but basically it was there from the beginning. The team here is excellent, very professional. It's a very high level. The orchestra also very prepared, but of course the orchestra, even though they've very well prepared in advance, there's just, because the score is so difficult, yeah, you take it step by step. I mean, you do things slowly, you work things up, you give people the chance to understand the piece. Yeah, I mean, it's very intense work, but what's wonderful is that everyone here is, I feel, very hungry to have a great result. So it's exciting. I mean, you can really tell that everyone is right with me, and we're really all working for a common goal, and it's very exciting. I love the staging. I mean, Mr. Kartalov has just wonderful ideas. I mean, also with this opera, but of course with so many of the other things, and also presenting operas in different locations. I mean, it's just really a leading opera house in Europe. And this, I mean, of course, I haven't seen the finished product yet because I'm very busy with the score. But yeah, I mean, great movement. I mean, with elements of dancing, with of course, incredible with Sven Jonke, really great mise en scène. And the other thing is that you can really, he's bringing to life all of these incredibly texts. So what they're doing in the stage rehearsals, which I love, is they're working a lot on the text. And you can tell that they know exactly what they're saying. And so it's really like making a play and putting it to music. And that's what Richard Strauss wanted. So yes, I think Mr. Kartalov has done an amazing job. It's really a great pleasure to be able to accompany his work. Well, first of all, it's a phenomenon that, I mean, we're probably the only opera house in the world right now that I know of that's putting on a big production like this. Everyone is reducing, and we're putting on with a hygiene concept. We're actually putting on, one of the large operas. And so that, of course, of course, it's not going to be the same conditions if we didn't have a pandemic, obviously. So as you can see, we've taken out the chairs in the parquet, and the strings are here. The brass are in where we normally would be sitting in the pit, and the winds are at the back of the parquet. I mean, from looking from my side, and everyone is spaced out. And everyone who doesn't have a wind instrument is wearing a mask, including me, which of course, if you're playing and you have to breathe, and for me, sometimes I'm moving very quickly and I have to breathe. So it's challenging. It's challenging because it's much different to listen because everyone is spaced out, so you'd hear much differently. I don't think I've ever been in a situation, also in some of the big houses like Mannheim, in terms of the building, where I've been this far away from the singers. So that's also very challenging because normally you have a very close contact with the singers and you can help them. And they're incredibly prepared, but there's still always, it's normal that you give them some slight impulses. And of course that's very challenging because I'm way away. And the other thing which is of course challenging is the acoustic, because the orchestra is very close to the audience. And so what that means is normally there's a slight distance, and of course, and so things mix better. So now the orchestra is it's very, very near. And so the audience is hearing, very, very clearly what the orchestra is playing. And of course, that's difficult for the balance with the singers because at the end of the day, an opera is about the singers. So we want to accompany the singers. So that's definitely a challenge. But I think it's a challenge that everyone, my feeling is that everyone is really for it. Because I think at these times, one of the real important things in the pandemic is that we play. Because, everyone's talking about COVID, which they should be, but of course people are forgetting when you're sitting at home, all the psychological things that are happening. And there's other things that happened, there's other ways that people can have problems in their life with their health. And so one of the things to support and to give courage and to give really spirit is to do the arts. And we're doing a great piece of the arts, and hopefully we will give some inspiration to the people who come. So yes, we're all wearing masks. Of course, in these times, every time you go out, there's a small risk, of course, but we are doing everything possible to keep everyone safe. The musicians, I've asked the musicians myself to stay separated from each other. The concertmaster has also asked. We are all wearing masks. Every time that I go anywhere and back here, I always have my hygiene for the hands. So yes, we are doing as much as possible to keep people safe. Also on the stage, they're wearing masks all the time. And staying separate. We have two different casts, and those two casts are working completely separately. So yeah, we're doing what we can to abide by the rules because we know that that's very important. Otherwise, we were not going to be able to play. And we want to play, so we're holding to the rules. Welcome to the audience. I really hope you come and join us on the 26th and 29th of November. You won't regret it.